Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. It is totally impromptu. Didn't even schedule this, getting this online because I have to get to the hair salon to get my hair done. But wanted to drop this because this is some breaking news related to Amber Portwood's party or circus that's going on in Indiana right now. So here we go. Amber Portwood has been at, in she was at the circus yesterday, and she had a lot of stuff happen. There's a no contact order in place related to the events that happened with her boyfriend, Andrew Glennon, over the weekend, over the 4th of July weekend. And here's what's going on. So everything for her case is continuing on July 25th for a pretrial circus. And there's currently a no contact order placed by the court between her, Andrew Glennon, and her son. But she has remained very silent, like super silent, all over Twitter, all over Instagram. She hasn't said a word other than like sharing some clickbait stuff. She hasn't said anything about what happened on the night of July 5th. A lot of information has come forward from multiple different sources and from multiple different places related to the events that happened that night. A lot of information. There have been affidavits that have come out. Radar Online actually posted their full affidavit. So if you ever want to go check it out, it's on Radar Online. I took some screenshots of it just to make sure that I had it all. But I won't go into the details of the affidavit. But we all know it involves a cucumber that was used and a flip-flop with a heel and some other stuff. And lots of allegations related to just icky stuff that happened at their house, okay? So the affidavit was filed from multiple interviews taken by authorities in Indiana. 3 separate interviews, one on the evening in question, one on Monday, and then one on Tuesday of this week. And they interviewed the detective assigned to the case, also interviewed police that were at the scene just to get everything shored up. And then evidence obviously collected at the scene to, I guess, substantiate what happened. At this point, we know what the charges are moving forward, but Amber's brother Shawn is saying that some of the stuff that we're learning about online is not in fact true. And he was on Twitter going off about how he believes some of these charges will eventually be dropped. So I grabbed a bunch of the screenshots. I actually wrote an article as well. But we will go through these screenshots and then I'm going to go and get my hair done. So he started everything out on the 9th by saying, stay tuned for the surprise ending. Everything's not always all it's cracked up to be. He made this tweet in response to an article that was published by the Ashley Reality Roundup, who was the first to break the story about the cucumber used at the house. And we use the word cucumber to call it the MACHETE because we don't use that word on YouTube, okay? So it's a cucumber. So the Ashley Reality Roundup was the first to drop that information that is included in the affidavit. The original affidavit that was filed on July 5th did not include that information. It was updated on the 9th and 10th by a detective in Indianapolis. So he wrote that in response to her dropping that information online. And then, hold on. I hate when this does this. Why is this doing this? I'm trying to... I have this set up as a slideshow, you guys, and it's being ridiculous right now. And it's not following directions. because I have the next one ready for you guys. I'm sorry. I hate when my computer acts like this. Okay. So he said, stay tuned for the surprise ending. And then he said, so as people started asking him questions, and trust me, there was a lot of questions flying, lots of speculations made by lots of different people that were watching, were talking with him. And some of the questions were like, did Andrew cheat on her? Did something happen? Was he the one that was the aggressor? Like, what's going on? And he just said, whatever the court documents may or may not say, there has been a lot of fabrication done, and there's plenty of evidence to prove otherwise, which I know about and will come out. A lot of people yesterday in my comments were speculating that how long would it take before someone from Amber's side would accuse Andrew of lying. It sounds like that started with Shawn. It sounds like even though Amber has not spoken, Shawn is extremely close to his sister, and he says that he's spoken to both Amber and Andrew. So we can sort of take Shawn's word as Amber's word at this point. It's pretty clear. So they say Andrew is lying. And then he said she does have some mental health issues, and he's not defending her mental issues or her attitude. He's defending the fact that she didn't do everything that they said she did. And he says that evidence will come out that proves otherwise. So people were like clapping back at him because, you know, they were accusing him of defending her, who is now accused of, you know, using a cucumber. And he was like, that's not true. You guys are jumping to conclusions. That's based out of what one person said. And there's evidence to prove that she did not do that. He also said he was being honest. And because of her past, everyone's immediately jumped. He says, I am being honest. And because of her past, you are all immediately jumping to the first thing that sounds like something she could possibly do because it fits your narrative of who she is. I'm not saying she's perfect, but I know what she did and what she did not do, and it's not fair. He said, my sister was wrong for one thing she did. She's not perfect, and I've never once ever said that she was. But when I would see something wrong, I'm going to come to her defense because I care about her, given what I know. If I believe she did it, I'd say nothing. And then somebody asked her, someone accused him of like the fact that Amber continues to act out like this is because her family enables this sort of behavior. And he says, I get what you're going with enabling theme. Well, let's just put it this way. If I believe that she did it, I wouldn't say a thing about it. You wouldn't hear a mouse fart out of me. But given what I've seen and heard, she didn't do all of what was said. And then he also went on to say, if I were Amber, I wouldn't say nothing. I'm not saying I don't trust her, but I don't go based off of word. I go based off of facts and evidence. And right now, the evidence that I know of does not indicate anything about what was said she did. And then someone said, like, it can't always be someone else's fault. And he said, I'm not saying that she's at fault for what she did too, but she did not do everything that they said she did. That will come out. And then someone said to him, and this is the part that's interesting, is that someone said to him, like, Amber has literally no reason to lie. Or no, they said Andrew has no reason to lie to authorities about what happened on that night. And Shawn said he does when she threatens to leave him and kick him out. So I feel like this is always what happens whenever something happens to Amber. It's always everyone else's fault. It's Andrew she's going to break. So now what's the narrative? She was going to break up with him. What, did he cheat on her, or did he do something that really upset her? And that's why she had to lash out like this. Now, I can tell you the affidavit says exactly what was printed by the Ashley. I have read the affidavit from start to finish. I read it twice. It says she literally got this from Marion County Court. Radar Online has it now. Multiple outlets have this affidavit now. And it says exactly what is printed. And it also says that filing this, they're filing it under the perjury the threat of perjury. So if he lies in these statements, he could be charged with perjury. So there's a lot of reasons why you don't, you tell the truth when you talk to the cops. And that's also to say that police are, in order for something like this to be substantiated, they would have to have stuff that at the house that would maybe fit what he said. So he said that the door handle was kicked off and that she slashed at the door. So really all they have to do is look at the door. What does the door look like? Is the handle knocked off? Does it look like it's been hit with a cucumber? Does it look like there was something that happened at this door? And if that matched, that would be consistent with statements that he made. And then if he does lie, like I said, you can get in trouble for lying. You don't lie on these types of occasions. So this is really odd to me because Shawn, if you look at his Twitter, he doesn't even live in Indiana. He lives in Florida. So how can he know what the evidence is if he's not even in Indiana? He doesn't. He only knows what his sister has told him. And, over the years, he has really defended her to the fault. And Shawn and her mother have really enabled a lot of this bad behavior that she has by downplaying what her role is. Even though he says that he's not enabling her, the fact that he has to come out and basically say that Andrew is not being truthful, that's a really big allegation to make against someone. And then it's also a really big allegation to make that his sister was going to break up with Amber and that's why he did this. Can you imagine? Like, that just wouldn't, it's not even... Oh yeah, good point. Obstruction of justice too. And, history does repeat itself, right? And so we know that even if he says this, she has this history, which his defense is like, just because she has this history, she isn't going to do this, but you're going to believe it because of her history. Well, history isn't always, many people change. And listen, I know there's plenty of you that watch me, and even me, that have done things in your past that you're not proud of, that have led to consequences that weren't great. But everyone has the capability of changing. Everyone has the capability of turning a wrong into a right and turning a new leaf and becoming a better person and not repeating our past mistakes. But it also takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of work. It takes maturity. It takes a willingness to see your faults. It takes effort. And I think if we've seen anything on the season of Teen Mom OG, there's a lot of stuff going on that is with her that clearly is showing that there's been some things going on in her health that are leading her to making some bad choices and are leading to outbursts. And she has it's not like she has one or two outbursts that have happened. It's like a lot. And she admits this on Teen Mom. So it's like, how do you defend someone has this background and then say, well, it's everyone else is lying? That's such an enabling position to take as a family member. And again, he's in Florida. He's not even there. So how does he know what the evidence is? He doesn't. But he says he knows because he spoke to both Andrew and to Amber. Let's see, is that everything? He had a lot to say about this, and people were really very critical of what he was saying. People were very this is so actually sort of throwing shade at him for making Andrew look like the liar. And I think it's telling, you guys. We know that Andrew's background isn't squeaky clean either, but it's always very, in the court of law, you have to have evidence because you can't just make, there has to be evidence to support what happened. And she admitted to some aspects of what was said, and then she denies other parts that have been said, which, let's be honest here. If that was on a police report, or if that was if there was a cucumber, if you were being accused of using a cucumber, would you say that you used a cucumber or would you lie? If you had millions of people watching you and believing that you are like a reformed human being that has done really good things, but then all of a sudden there's like this document that says that you've been using a cucumber and you've got a lot to lose by it being not true, or you have a lot to lose if it's true, what would you do? Would you be truthful or would you be not truthful? And I would, given her history and given her background and given what she's known to do, she's not always the most truthful, and she's kind of a pathological liar. It's hard with her to ever know what's real and what's not. And you can only go based off of what was said and what was filed. And you have to believe that this is Indianapolis, you guys. This isn't like a Hodunk police department. This is like a major metropolitan unit that's making these, putting this information out there. It's not like, some deputy, it's not like Mayberry. It's not a Mayberry outfit here. This is a major outlet that's doing this investigation. So they have probably a lot of experience with this. And of course, he says that she has it's because that, and so now everyone is like, it's Andrew that's doing this, or it's, next, if it's not Andrew, it's going to be that the prosecutor is doing this because of her background, or it's everybody, it's always, or it's the law enforcement that are making this up because of her background. It's, everyone else is doing this. It's always a conspiracy. There's always going to be this level of, this is a conspiracy, this didn't happen, this isn't what happened, this is all a lie. Shawn says that a cucumber was not used and that Andrew is lying. And he has lots of reasons to lie because Amber threatened to break up with him, is basically what Shawn is implying. And I don't take everything you hear from Shawn with a grain of salt, but given the fact that this has been out there, I was like, dude, I got to report this because people are going to see this and then be like, And obviously we don't know all the facts, but we do know what's in the affidavit, and the affidavit is pretty clear what it's repeated. They interviewed him multiple times to make sure that his statements remained consistent. And then they interviewed people, they interviewed the people, the first responders that were at the scene to clarify if Andrew told him that on the night in question. And on the night in question, the police officer admitted that Andrew did told him about the cucumber, but he backtracked it. He backed off the statement after they talked to Amber, who said that didn't happen. And the guy at the scene said that he could tell that Andrew was trying to protect Amber. And so he just left it out of the initial documents filed in the court. So this is a huge mess. Such a mess. I have an article that I wrote. I will put it in the description. Actually, I won't put it in the description. I will put it in the comments if you want to read the full article. Make sure that you give me a like and comment on this video if you enjoy what I'm doing. I will continue to keep you guys updated. Also, Gary, Shirley, and Christina seem to be fully supportive of this point of Amber. I was on Christina's Twitter account, and she's been retweeting content about how Amber is a changed woman and has done all of these really good things. And Gary seems to also be like supporting her. They were both at the circus with her yesterday. So she does have support here. I just don't know, I don't think it's helpful for anyone on her side to start planting these seeds of doubt. The affidavit kind of speaks for itself, and you have to have evidence along with the affidavit, and you'd have to have evidence to support those. Now, who knows what we'll find. I mean, there's always the option that negotiations can take place between the prosecutor and her attorneys at the circus, and she could obviously get reduced charges. But either way, no matter if they say they were to drop the one related to the cucumber, the other ones are still related to the events that would have happened with the flip-flop. And that still involved her boyfriend and her son, and those are still level 6 um, felonies. So she's in a world of hurt no matter what happens here, because if this falls through, she's going to go away for a couple years, let's just say. So yes, now I actually decided that we're not going to call it a party. We're going to call it the circus, because I feel like a circus, and someone actually made this comment in my comments on the video yesterday. Sorry, these are my combs. That a circus would imply better. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of a 3-ring circus, right? There's like elephants, there's giraffes, like, cause come on, like, and I'm not implying that Amber's an elephant, but like, Andrew could be a giraffe and Amber could be like the lioness, right? Like, I don't know what, maybe James could be the like seal that comes out and puts the ball in his nose. You know, there could be so many different things that are going on here. Shawn could be the person that's throwing the fire, adding flames to this already crazy circus. This is going to be a mess of a story, you guys. Such a mess. And I am on like pins and needles watching all of this. You got to believe I'm all over their social media, but I'll be taking a break this afternoon to get my hair done. So you'll have to like wait longer. If you missed my stream from last night, I did discuss, I did my best reaction response to the Momcation video. I plan to do those every week because they're super fun and you guys get to see my sense of humor a little bit more. I have a very dry sense of humor and I'm kind of sarcastic. Somebody yesterday, I have to say this again because it's so ridiculous. I said yesterday on the stream that I said, how long will MTV film these women? Well, they keep filming them when they're like grandmas, when they're like at 80 years old and at CVS getting their hemorrhoid cream or getting like their Metamucil. And then I like laughed and I said, well, I guess if they're gonna still film, I'll still talk about them and I'll be at the pharmacy with them. And it was a joke. And someone seriously was like, I can't believe you would say that. I can't believe you would say that about the show. This just shows that you're exploiting this. Like, seriously, you guys, it was a joke. It was a joke. Do I have to add sarcasm to everything I say at the end? Do I need to put like a little like S face next to everything I say that's sarcastic? I hope some of you will get to learn my sarcasm. But if I make statements like that, you guys, you know I'm not serious. My goodness. Have a little sense of humor. Sometimes I think my humor is lost on people. Everyone liked my joke about the couch, and I stand firm. I stand firm that if she goes away for a couple years, her couch is going to miss her. Her couch would probably need to have like a goodbye party. And then when it comes back, they'll have a welcome home party for her. All right, you guys, I'm going to go, but I will keep you posted on everything that's related to her. There's nothing new in terms of like no documents have been filed. The only thing that was added today were the no contact orders, and those are now enforced. And so she cannot make contact with either one of the boys involved in this circus. So I will see you the next time. If you have questions, you can contact me on Twitter. You can send me a DM at WOA Crystal Ball or tag me on Twitter. You can also follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/withoutacrystalball. You can also leave me comments. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do. If you like what I'm doing, make sure you share my videos. And as always, I'm so grateful and appreciative of all of you taking the time out of your day to watch me give you the latest and greatest from Indiana. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.